So I'm going to get started and I'm going to leave that to you.
Okay. Oh,
Okay. Resharing my screen. This is what you get with the holiday edition of the monthly community calls on the first Wednesday of every month. This is our last one for 2025, which is crazy because that means I've almost done a full round around the sun with ImmyBot, which is really exciting. And it also means, oh, there's Trey. It also means that we are heading into the holiday season, and you can now, I'm telling you, you can formally use the excuse starting today, I will loop back in the new year. So you're all welcome. You've got the ability to get out of a whole month of work. I'm giving it to you like a week and a half early. You can start using the we'll loop back in the new year.
so Darren, everything Anna and I have will loop back in the new year. Okay.
All right. And I will loop back in the new year.
Okay. This is your community team, myself, the community engagement manager, Tara, our MSP channel captain, and constantly on the road. Today, and where is Tara Rummer? She is in San Diego, correct?
I am, yeah, in San Diego for we'll get there. I'm assuming it's on the list, right?
It is on the list in question. I just did our channel program holidays. Somebody by the name of, I believe, Paul. I don't think I remember his name. There was a man today that won a 3D printer on behalf of ImmyBot. You can still sign up. I'll send it in the post show as well as in the newsletter that will go out tomorrow at 10 a.m. Central Time. But you can sign up for the channel program holidays. Basically, TLDR, they want your contact information because they're going to send it out to a bunch of people. And in return, you get not a bunch of people, the people that have sponsored the event, you get your name in a drawing with 6,000 other people to win. There's 2 prizes every day from December 1st to December 12th, and then a grand prize at the end.
There's actually like 4 grand prizes, I think. If you
Oh,
look on the website, there's a bunch. Yeah, they're really cool too. Like some of those things I would like to win, I gotta be honest.
yeah.
There's like a relaxation thing from a bundle from Blue Mira. It's like I kind of want to put it on my Christmas list for my husband just to all buy. That's like, but all the gifts are at least $500. So
Yeah.
it's not like you're giving up your email for, a $50 gift card to Amazon or something.
Yeah. Today ImmyBot gave away a 3D printer, and then there was another company that was on that gave away like a $6,000 drone. And there's like pizza ovens on there and $500 Amazon gift cards, and I don't even know. There's like $16,000 worth of prizes. Um, but feel free to sign up for that if you want to try your hand at winning something. The wheel was very funny today. I don't know if you guys have seen those put your name in wheels, but when you get up to like 6,000 people, you can't see any name. The whole wheel just turns brown from all the colors being so closely together, and it really struggles to move. So that was pretty fun to see. But there's still 9 days of that. So still can sign up for that. And then, like Tara said, she is in San Diego right now.
I am actively in a hotel room, guys. So my Wi-Fi is shit. So if it checks out, sorry. But yeah, I am here for a dinner with channel program in Monjour. And yes, Trey just got taken off the wait list for it. So I don't know if they're doing these next year, but Anna's done a handful of them, and it's just kind of local MSPs get to go to dinner with, 3 vendors, and we each get like 10 minutes to pitch, and which you guys know is really uncomfortable for us because we don't really pitch often unless we're in the booth. And then we get to eat really good food. So I am in San Diego doing that.
Is it warm in San Diego?
No, it's not actually. Well, I mean, it's like 60 during the day, but I think it got down into, I'm going to say I woke up and it was like 40 something last night. It's like 64 right now. It's not bad.
Same weather as here. I'm looking
Yeah.
for somewhere warmer. Maybe I'll make a trip to Florida. Okay. Our first community call for next year is January 7th. And then our first 2 events for the year, we're at PAX 8 Peer Groups Q1, which I believe is in Scottsdale. And then Ride a Boom is pretty much the same time.
So we haven't signed the contract for complete transparency with PAX 8. However, we've sponsored them now for a few years. So it's just kind of expected that we'll be there at this point. But right at boom, we have definitely signed and we will be there. And I'm working on getting Darren there. Nudge, nudge, poke, poke. Nudge, nudge, poke, poke. So
Last
definitely see y'all
year,
there.
last year we gained a lot of new Emmy crew members from that event. So hoping to see a lot of people that we already know and some new faces as well. But that was one of our biggest events last year that ImmyBot got some new crew members at. So we're excited to be there and excited to continue seeing you guys. It although feels like by putting all of our events on a calendar this early that we have more events than we did last year. I think that we've really defined our focus for next year. So you'll see us everywhere, but you'll see us really plugging into a couple of different partnerships that we have, which we're excited to share next year.
Some strategic partnerships that we're going to kind of figure out what that looks like. But I think some of you are going to be really excited about some of these.
Yeah, if there's any other organizations in the MSP space that you feel like you love going to their events or feel like they have really embodied um, giving back and community focused efforts, we would love to collaborate and hear that from you for the next year. We're really trying to spend our money and our time with businesses that we align with and that are giving back to the community. So you'll see a lot of that next year.
They've got to match our vibe. So
yeah, we got to have somebody to match our vibe.
Yeah.
Here is our just a couple of things. These are like very very few things. Lots of them happened at the end of the year, but there is slides and slides and slides of all the things that happened with ImmyBot in the last year. We had a website rebrand. Immy got a bit of a facelift. Immy's lived a lot of lives. Look at how many. This is just some of the Emmys. Um, we got through our first 9 community calls after this one, which is really big. Creating more of a structure. We launched a newsletter in the summer, which gives us the ability to give you information that you need on a more consistent basis. And it also allows us to make sure that all of our features and new releases and things that are important to you guys are actually hitting your desks and you know about. And along with that, the new doc site was launched so that not only are you aware of the new features and what's coming, but you're fully educated, you have a plan forward, and you are enabled to onboard and adapt those features and changes as they arrive. Part of that was ImmyBot moving to Kubernetes, which is going super, super well. I think everyone's moved on to that.
Yeah, everybody's
Um,
on it.
yeah, I haven't heard anything negative about that experience so far. So I think we're all moving in the positive direction and things are faster and more reliable and Kubernetes is the
Yeah,
real.
we didn't optimize the costs as much as we thought we were going to because what we didn't realize is that having Datadog enabled on everybody a massive bandwidth egress cost. So I'm like literally figuring out how to set up a private link to Datadog right now, which of course our Datadog was in like an unsupported private link, so now I have to like re-provision our entire Datadog to like whatever. It's not important, but we're gonna get there.
So that's on us, though.
That's not a you guys problem, all right? You guys are reaping the performance benefits, but I'm just like, I just robbed Peter to pay Paul. So yeah. And we have a lot better telemetry now though. Like now that Datadog is on, we could see all the errors and hopefully we can start getting in front of issues, whereas our visibility with the app services was just terrible.
Yeah. Well, the good news is that Darren will be able to recoup some of that money because we hit 1,000 crew members, which is huge. 2025 will be a year that goes down in ImmyBot history. So we're really excited that we have finally hit 1,000. I won't say it has anything to do with me getting hired, but if the shoe fits, if it all happens in the same year, you never know. I'm just kidding, obviously. There's a lot that went into
it's
us
all
getting
Anna.
there's a lot that went into us getting there. There was so like even just from my perspective this starting in January and it's been 11 months almost to the day. The behind the scenes and publicly, how ImmyBot is presenting like it from an infrastructure and organizational, like operationally excellent perspective. From all of that, like we are night and day. So much has gone into making sure that ImmyBot is continuing to move in the positive direction with community at the forefront and every decision being made through the lens of how we can best partner and support MSPs. And part of that is that I'm hoping for in January that we'll be able to go through a informal but helpful product roadmap that will allow you to see what is coming up and what you can be preparing your teams for. One of those things that happened this year is role-based access control, which we are very excited about. It will be standard in everybody's instance very soon, but it is currently in beta, and several people on this call have been using it within their MSPs to give us the good, the bad, the ugly. And so we've asked Trey if he would come on today, and he's been betaing, is that a word? He's been
Sure.
using RBAC in the beta, um,
Beta testing is probably
beta testing. He's been beta testing um, RBAC with Courser. And so I'm going to ask him to jump on and show us the good, the bad, the ugly, what you're loving about RBAC, where you've seen automation, time savings, and anything else you want to share.
Yeah, thanks, Anna. So, first, some background. Courser's a private equity-backed firm, but we have 20. I know it's more than 25. We closed on a couple like last week, so the numbers changed on me. But 25 at minimum MSPs. The math changes, especially when we let go of some. Anyway, but in that we've got right now, I'm looking at it, 147 people within ImmyBot using RBAC, and the feedback has been overwhelmingly positive. It's a beta, so there's been bugs here and there. I'll give the Emmy team credit. I reported 3 yesterday, and I got emails while I was asleep that those 3 bugs were squashed overnight. So, get some points there. Um, but overall, the team loves it. The big thing for us was before RBAC, I'm looking right now, we've got 42,741 active computers, and then call it 5,000 computers sitting in either new, pending, or stay. So a few computers. And with over 150 people touching Emmy, siloing things out was difficult. The way we can do it now is they're all provisioned access within ImmyBot's RBAC groups. Am I allowed to show this, guys?
Yeah, if you want to.
Yeah,
I think that's fine.
I'll show it. So what we've done is we've built out groups for all of our little MSPs. So Cygnus is one of our MSPs, Dart, etc. And those are assigned roles. The roles are the permissions that you're assigning out. So we've created 4 custom roles. Or technically 5, but starting from basically you can't do anything. You can just view data all the way up to you're an admin for your MSP. Those trickle into the groups. Our users are then thrown into the groups and they're provisioned access to what they need to see. So from their standpoint, they don't see 40,000 plus computers. They'll see just what that little MSP is responsible for. We also can get a little creative and say, all right, you're a regional resource. You're going to work with 5 MSPs. Let's get you access to just those 5. Other platforms, like I'm going to throw ConnectWise Azio under the bus. Azio struggles to do stuff like that. You can't really get that granular with you're allowed into this, you're blocked from these other things. The way the structure's been built is you can have a allow and a deny list, and then say, you can see that, you can't see that, and get creative and make some overrides. We took all of that, and then what we've done is used tags to create kind of a hierarchy for all of our different customers and be able to segment them out. So our quick fix teams may get access to certain customers, but they may not get access to our co-managed customers who they shouldn't be supporting to begin with. We'll take that and we've wrapped it all up into automation within Roost to then handle our back user setup. So we've said, if we need to add a person into ImmyBot, great, automate it. That follows our processes that we need for SOC 2 compliance, but we're able to come in here and say, all right, for our geo, which one's live? I know Sundog's live. If we've got a new hire for Sundog, we can come in and say, all right, you need to be a developer. It will then go create a ticket, ask for approval, make sure they're allowed to have that within our HR system, all this good stuff. And then in the IMMY backend, it's going to go and create their user with the correct RBAC role, etc. At the same time, Roost is also watching for new tenants getting created and setting up the RBAC permissions proactively for us. So when a new customer comes on, I don't have to maintain anything. It just happens, which is awesome because I was worried about, hey, all right, how do I manage permissions on a parent-child relationship? It's all doable. The API spec works out of the box. So if you're doing automation like I am, it's killer. The only negative so far are just like a few weird permission things that we come across. We've had like some issues getting people the ability to save scripts and whatnots, but we're pretty damn sure those are just bugs and we're gonna get them squashed. But with 140 people in it, we haven't had anybody go, I cannot work, which was awesome considering we pushed this Wednesday of last week, and I was worried about that because Thanksgiving was the next day. But no one woke me up over the weekend telling me they can't work. So good on you. It's a stable beta that seems to work.
It's good. I'm recognizing some things here that I think could be further optimized, like making tags. Tags are kind of like the bane of my existence, but there are use cases for it. But I'm wondering if it would have been smarter for us, or could we make an option that leverages PSA groups or like agreement types, kind of like we do on deployments, to group instead of using tags. So if the natural, thing here is, all right, I just hired a new employee, they work for this MSP, they should only see computers for that MSP. Maybe not even an agreement, but it could just be like, okay, well, any company that's associated with this PSA instance, like assign it like that instead of having to make that tag.
Yeah, I could see that working. And it's honestly like PSA, I could see it even being like M365 group related because sometimes that's easier to do.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We could
Right?
do it based on like the partner tenant because you could have multiple Azure
Exactly.
partners, right? So that
Yep.
would be, yeah, I mean, that'd be even simpler for us.
Yeah. Because what I'm kind of thinking about is also the relationship between, all right, we may have 25 MSPs, but we're going to share those resources across. If we've got
Hmm.
guys that are really good at Nerdio, they may need to work across all 25,
Right.
but not all the time. So we're already playing with the concept of PIM within ImmyBot
Mhm.
to then use the Roost backend to programmatically create effectively a PIM inside ImmyBot. Because now that RBAC's here, it could so do it.
Right.
And
Well, I mean, but to me, it's
but
like,
you guys, you could
well,
so
think about it
make
like
it.
this. Like, okay, think about it like this. You know how you could request, somebody goes and requests access to Emmy. There's like a time bound thing already there where like initially it was created for our support team to access Emmy. So you could say, oh yeah, like give them access for 3 days or a day or perpetually. We already kind of have a mechanism in there for that whole like user approval thing. So I'm wondering if we could extend that concept to work in that case. And then like, I'm looking at what you did with the Roost form, And I'm thinking, well, that's the next natural extension of what our user form needs to be. Because because a key use case for RBAC is exactly your use case. A bunch of MSPs get together, but you want to, I understand the need for like these, consultants, these subject matter experts. Like, I don't think this is going to get in the way of that. I'm just talking about like your more typical use case, which is like, okay, this MSP just hired a person. They only need to see that stuff. I wonder if we could just borrow that form layout that you have and just build that in and make our new user form like even smarter because that drop down, as that was your first thing, like that drop down probably mirrors if you were to go into Emmy under show more Azure. I'm willing to bet that's the same companies that's in the Azure drop down, right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay,
Yeah,
perfect.
it's a straight mirror.
So we've already got that. Okay.
Yeah,
And then
you
what
do.
are you trying to add a user? Okay, great. So like, and then from here, okay, well then modify existing that's different. I'm sure with the
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
add
I
it,
get you.
if you see what I'm saying? So like I think we could take this concept because the last thing I want is everybody having to go out and build the same form in Roost because this is probably going to be I mean the only thing you're doing here that I think is unique is that ticket creation thing, which is like
Yeah.
another bane of my existence that we should already be doing, right? Like we should have a mechanism for opening tickets in your PSA. Um, but yeah, okay, yeah. I have ideas.
Yeah. Idea drop. There you go.
Cool.
But yeah, otherwise it's a V1. For a V1, it should be given like a V9 tag because it's so damn well built. And I can't tell you how happy I was when I got into the Swagger and everything was there. Like
Right?
the fact I could get into groups and it's just sitting there. I'm like, these are my people.
We have quite a
So
few ImmyBot devs on this call, so everybody pat yourselves on the back here. Like, that's awesome. Sorry, that's high praise.
my
I was gonna say, Darren had told us, give us an MVP for RBAC. So, okay, most valuable product. Let's do it. And so that's what we're starting.
yeah, I was working on something with the Swagger thing. I really want to switch to that other one. I could literally never remember the name of it though. It's
Scalar.
That's it. Thank you. I can never remember it. Scalar. I like that one just because it can generate PowerShell. Um, but yeah, I was working on modifying our Swagger because there was something we weren't doing right. It was really, I don't remember. It'll come to me in a second. I'll have to go and open my local branch and see what I was working on. Actually, I have it open. Oh, yeah. Somebody reached out to me on Discord. They're trying to consume the API, and the problem was we use this NuGet package called Civ that handles like pagination and like sorting and filtering and things like that. But the object, the parameters are a bit opaque, and so it's not really obvious that you could pass in like it should have deconstructed the Civ parameter type into like, page size, skip, count and take, whatever, like however it works, but it didn't. And so that ended up being a little confusing. So I have a branch I'm working on right now that's going to add that to all of the endpoints in Swagger that are, filterable using query parameters.
Sweet. Well, this is why, for anybody wondering, it takes a minute for you guys to build something. Yeah, because Darren has so many ideas and he wants the version that goes out to be the best version. There is no like good enough with Darren. It's like perfection or die.
Well,
Um,
I have a tendency to move the finish line. It's like we will be like on the bleed, like, all right, we're gonna release. I'm like, well, wait, it would be really cool if you now that you're doing that, what if? And then it's just like
going
a
on
year
his
later.
tombstone. It'd be cool if. Wouldn't it be cool,
Wait.
Tara, if? You know what we call that in the MSP space, babe? Scope creep.
That is, I know it's scope creep. It'll be easy, guys. It'll be easy. So you can literally put a bingo card with like all my mannerisms on it, and yeah.
Oh, don't worry. We're talking about making a coloring book.
that would be good.
Darrenisms.
Darren's saying a coloring book on the ImmyBot merch store. coming to a store near you.
Yeah.
Oh my
For
goodness.
some reason, we used to do a percentage increase on every project we did because there was always scope creep because of well, we could do it this way instead. Yeah, it's cool. Well, thank you, Trey. And thank you for putting it through its paces and stuff. I know you were like, I'll take it and I'll run with it. So I appreciate that.
I'm like,
Well, actually, hold on. So Raymond just brought up that evidently we are working on an MSP scope. Raymond, do you want to mention that?
Yeah, I think there were a few issues that prevented us from like going live with it with kind of the other assignment types. But essentially, like we have a scope that we're working on where you basically can set up an assignment for the MSP, and that allows you to sort of manage all the tenants that are associated with that MSP. So you don't have to create like separate tags to like manage them. So that's just something else we had kind of in the books.
well, love that when it's done.
Yeah, me too.
Because the tags work. Don't get me wrong. Tags
Yeah,
work great. But
yeah,
the whole concept of MSP, all the children, like
yeah.
so much easier.
Yeah, and I think like the idea was there, and it's like we actually have all the plumbing for it. It's just there's a few features in the application that weren't really like built for that, so we have to like figure out how to make it like amenable.
Yeah, I get you.
Sweet. Well, I didn't even think about RBAC besides the access control portion of like security permissions, but what I loved about what Trey showed was the ability to just have on people's screens what they need to see. It not only reduces error, but like just from an organization and people doing 100 different things and having to filter through long lists, being able to set permissions to make the scope and the list of computers even smaller just creates so much extra brain space to not have to sift through 8,000 computers and only see the 100 computers related to what your job is assigned to work on. I think that's
Well,
great.
and it also just decreases the blast radius if something goes wrong, right?
Well, yeah, you're putting up the guardrails, so I'm betting that people will see more adoption from like younger employees too, like newer people who maybe are a little intimidated by Emmy because you can do so much and you can do some great things, but you do something wrong. I mean, RMSP a few years ago, didn't they remove some or push something to every literally company in ImmyBot and break a
Yeah.
whole bunch of stuff? Like,
Well,
so yeah, mitigating that and just helping people build their comfort and their skills within it, right? You're setting those guardrails, which is awesome. So thank you, boys. I know it's been a little delayed, but that's awesome. So awesome. Never
Well,
accidentally rebooted everything.
Yeah,
that's funny.
it's happened.
I think that, and Darren, stop me in my tracks if I'm wrong. I think that there may be a couple more seats open for RBAC beta testing.
yeah. Yeah, we
If
got some people.
anybody is interested, jump on the opportunity now. Um, how long is something in beta? Just a curious wonderer.
I mean, we're just gonna keep betaing it and until I mean it's like an intermittent problem. You just have to wait until people stop complaining about it for long enough for you to feel confident, right? So, yeah, I think I would like to get that tenant scope thing done, but uh, I also, again, I don't want to continuously move the finish line. I do think that one of the hardest things to do is like decide when it's time to like cut the cloth and release something because when I see stuff like what Trey did is awesome, but it also made me realize like, oh shit, like he had to do a lot of work to get that going, and we could have made it easier. And I don't want everybody to have like a gazillion tags if they're using it for this use case. And so it's like, okay, maybe we're, just, let's let it breathe for a couple of more weeks.
How many more people would you like to have on beta?
Probably another 5, let's say.
5. All right. So if you guys want to email community@emmy.bot and want to get in this beta, let us know. And if we don't hit 5, we're going to reach out to a handful of people.
Yeah, I think
Sweet.
the other use cases that we're interested in, which I think Trey did show, but maybe not as in depth, because he had both use cases of the multiple MSPs coming together, but then also like restricting scopes within a single MSP. Specifically, things like I don't want certain level technicians creating or are running arbitrary PowerShell against domain controllers or any computer or things like that, just getting more granular about the feature set. So some of the other implementations we've seen have been creating these like level 1, level 2, level 3 roles where you're opening up the feature set more and more as you go up that food chain. And that's also a core use case for it. So if you have features of IMI that you're trying to restrict, it's preventing you from adopting it fully within your organization, that we want to hear from you.
Sweet.
Yeah, those features are awesome because we do exactly what Darren just said. We have 6 levels, and it's like, you're level 1, you can't do anything, guy. You're effectively reporting, and is this thing online? That's it. All the way up to 6, which is effectively you're an administrator except for billing. Can't touch that. Nobody can touch billing.
Yeah, well, we're actually talking about moving the whole billing thing into like a separate shared app. And this is so one of the things we kind of launched silently, and it doesn't affect any of you guys, but newer instances are going to be using a shared app service and there are a few reasons. Mostly it was just to decrease the time it takes to get into your IMI instance. We noticed a significant fall off of, all right, somebody signs up for a trial, but because it takes like 7 to 10 minutes to provision everything, most of which is just waiting to stamp our partner ID on the app registration so that you get a blue check when you do that first consent. So we're centralizing that, at least for the initial access to the instance, and that cuts out a massive amount of time. But while we're there, we're like, okay, well, now that we got this centralized auth, why don't we build out like a centralized app portal where we can have somebody log in and see like the status of their instance or instances. Some people have multiple instances that they manage, and to do things like maybe restart it if it's hung, which we have like watchdogs and stuff. But then also maybe within that portal, give access to like a billing administrator, because technically all the billing stuff doesn't need to go through the instance itself. It's kind of weird to have like your CFO logging into your automation platform just to update the credit card, right? So so we're thinking about that, but of course that creates this situation where, all right, well, who's allowed to log into it, right? And where does that user list sit? Because right now the users table is in everybody's database. So so we're just trying to figure out the best way to handle figuring out who at your organization should be given access to that portal. And I don't think this is an impossible problem for us to solve, but it is something that we're considering doing early next year. And we're open to other ideas, that things you may want to see on that, and sort of like a centralized dashboard. We're kind of open to that too.
Sweet. I think the question about API breaks with RBAC is being answered in the chat, but if you can look at that, Darren, and make sure, that would be great.